Hey everybody, so today I'm here to share with you guys our favorite toys and gift ideas for 4-year-olds. Now, I have done this type of video for every single age younger than 4-year-olds, so I will leave those in the drop box in case you also need some other ideas for other ages, and I'm also going to link everything down below in the description as well. I tried my best to make sure that there weren't any repeats from previous videos, although since Sophie is now 4 years old and she's able to really tell me what her favorite toys are without just picking the closest thing to her, she did pick a couple of things, and I just felt like if she said it was a favorite toy, and I know that she does pay a lot of attention to it, even if it's a repeat, I still think it's worth mentioning, especially because some of you might not have seen previous videos. When I get started, these are in no particular order, and like I said, she did help me make this list, so these are gifts and toys that she has been loving for the age of 4. You know, she's over 4.5 now. We're steadily going towards that 5-year-old status, which is crazy, but yes, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. The very first toy is something that I knew that she would like, but it's something that both her and her sister have played so much with and have loved so much that I really wasn't expecting for it to get this much play, but it's a huge hit in our home, and it is the Educational Insights Workbench. Now, I have the drawer pulled out because it is a little hard to do that to move it in and out if I'm holding it, but it does come with both screws and nails, and then it comes with a screwdriver and a hammer, and it's got all these open spots that you can put any of those in. So you can hammer some nails, you can screw some screws, and there are a ton. This isn't even all of them, it's just what I could collect that was in the bench and also sitting around the bench. I know that we still have some scattered a whole bunch of places, so there's literally no shortage. These get thrown around our room constantly, and I feel like we're not lacking any at all. So there's that. And as you can see, the drawer does slide up, and it's one of the reasons why I went with this one in particular. They have several different versions of the whole kind of, I believe they call it design and drill or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but there's a name for this kind of series they have, and they have purses, robots, smaller versions of things like this, but I like the workbench because it could hold all of this. I wanted it to stay in one spot, and it also did have a nice little holder for the screwdriver. This little switch down here will allow you to reverse and be able to unscrew the screws that they're putting in. It's pretty basic. It runs on a battery. It's not going to hurt them or anything like that. And honestly, I think since she got this for Christmas, we've only replaced the battery once, and this thing is in constant use. This is the little hammer that it comes with, and I mean, it's just a little plastic hammer. It's not super heavy or anything. I was really excited to give this to her for Christmas, and she has absolutely loved it. And like I said, even our 3-year-old has liked it as well. She just can't do everything that her 4.5-year-old sister can do. I'm not going to mention the price for every single toy that I'm going to show you guys today, but I did want to mention that this is normally $50. It's what I paid for at Christmas time for her, and I was more than okay with that because I know Educational Insights as a brand makes really great quality stuff. This is no exception. It's held up super well. I definitely think it's worth $50. However, right now when you're seeing this video, it's on sale on Amazon for around $30, and that is a steal. Like I said, this gift is by far and away totally a $50 gift, but if you know a child who would love this, if it's your own kid, you got a birthday party to go to, you need to snag this up for $30. I know this sale isn't going to last long. I'm sure the stock isn't going to last long on it either, and honestly, since I was interested in this all the way back in the beginning of November of last year, this is the first time I've seen it go on sale, so I would snag it up really quick. The next thing we actually got intended for our 3-year-old for Christmas, but it ended up being a favorite of both of theirs, and so much so that Sophie said it was one of her favorite things when I asked her to make this list with me, and it is the Leapfrog Go With Me ABC Backpack is the actual name of it. So this is a hard case kind of toy, but it does look like a backpack, and it does have straps on the back, but you open it up and it does have letters over here on the side, and then it does have your magnetic kind of doodle board. It comes with a pencil that's on a leash as well, and you can see there's a little screen up here. There's of course the volume settings because it is a Leapfrog toy, and they're usually pretty good about that, but I got this, like I said, for my 3-year-old because my 3-year-old does not know all of her letters yet. She doesn't know all her letter sounds. However, Sophie does. Sophie knows her letters and sounds and everything. However, she still loves this thing because there's so many different activities to do with it. It's not just learning letters. There's a bunch of settings up here that make it really interesting for a lot of different ages, and even for somebody like Sophie who does know their alphabet and even their letter sounds. She can practice writing all her letters. I would say she knows how to write most of them, but definitely not all of them, and definitely not all of them in lowercase. And that's one of the things that this backpack will help them practice. It can do, like I said, writing your letters, knowing your letters, letter sounds. There's a kind of game version where you can make letters into different animals, and of course there's like music and there's just fun stuff. There's also a game, I believe, where it'll start to slowly like draw a picture over here and they have to guess what animal it is and then hit the corresponding letter of whatever it starts with. She really likes that too. I think it's just one of those things where because it offers quite a few different things to do with it, she doesn't get bored with it, and it also does help stimulate her. She also likes writing. She likes practicing that kind of stuff. So the practicing your letters, it does both uppercase and lowercase. It's just a phenomenal toy all around. So if your kid, like I said, even knows their alphabet, but maybe is still working on writing them well, this by far and away is still definitely worth it. Not to mention they love to carry that thing around like it's an actual backpack. And then the next thing that I have for you guys is the Fat Brain Hexactly. That's what it's technically called, but they're basically blocks. They come in different sizes and colors, but it's a whole set that'll come together. And basically, it's just like a fun take on blocks. So this is just kind of like a look at what you can do here. These are all different pieces that I'm holding together. So like this blue will come out, and then all of these were all separate. So it's really cool. They can do a lot of different things with these. I mean, you could make this into like a math or geometry kind of thing, but honestly, my kids just like seeing how far they can stack, different ways they can stack, different things they can build. It comes with like a little booklet too that we've now lost, but it also gave you different things to try and make with it, which was really interesting. But these are just so cool. They're very different. Like I said, kind of like a different take on blocks. It does have some smaller pieces though, so definitely wouldn't recommend this for kids who are still putting stuff in their mouths, but I thought this was really cool and it's really engaging. It's a great little set. Fat Brain Toys makes great quality products, so I knew that this was a good choice. Next up is this Melissa and Doug sequencing bead set. This is another thing that she got for Christmas, but it comes with these rods, and you can see there's holes right here, and then you have a ton of different double-sided boards that all have different sequencing and patterns on them and stuff like that. So you just kind of stick it up like that, and then they go through and they obviously do the sequencing. And it's a really simple, basic concept, you know, just these wooden boards and these poles and beads, and it's nothing really special here. It's nothing crazy, but it is a good quality set. There's enough variety because it does come with, I believe, yeah, 5 boards, and one of them allows them to be creative as well, or you can color it in yourself, but I typically just let it be a free board. But you get a lot of different options for play on here, and of course they don't have to use this to do sequencing. Like sometimes Sophie will pull this out and she'll just put all the poles in, and she'll put the beads however she wants to. It could be sorting colors, it could be sorting the shapes, because there are similar shapes in here. Some are repeated more than others, but you know, whatever you want it to be, you could do a ton of different things with this. And I think it only runs around $25, and you know, Melissa and Doug, with it being wooden too, it's just really great quality. Again though, it does have some smaller pieces with these beads, so you know, just be careful if you've got younger kids around, of course. But this by far and away is something that I kind of felt like I'd have to encourage her to play with, but she actually really enjoys it. I will say, if your kids are little mischief maniacs like mine are though, they will try to take those rods and sword fight each other with them. So might want to keep an eye on that, but otherwise it's been used appropriately. So the next thing is too big to show you, so I'm just going to scoot over and insert a picture, but this is the Kinderfeets balance board. I always mess up some part of that name, so I'm not even going to try to do that over. But this is something that I've been wanting for such a long time. However, until recently, they were pretty hard to find in a place that wasn't super expensive. Etsy has had them for quite some time because Etsy has a ton of Waldorf and Montessori and a whole bunch of different kind of themed toys, but at the same time they are crafted by individuals, and then you also have to take in shipping and stuff like that, so it gets really pricey really quick over there. However, with the Kinderfeets, I was able to find this on Amazon for $100, which for a lot of people sounds like a lot of money for just a piece of wood, is what I've been told. However, at the same time, this is an open-ended toy, and I by far and away think that it's been 110% worth it. The girls have used this for so many different things. They pretend it's a boat, they pretend it's a surfboard, they pretend it's a car, a train, they flip it over, they pretend that it's a little slide. Like, you name it, it's been done with it, and of course there's always new things to come up with and to use it for. It's a great open-ended toy that just allows them to get out some of that physical energy, and I'm always looking for toys like that. But I did want to say that if you're on the fence about it, if you're wondering if it's going to be great quality, it is, because you guys know I've said it time and time again, but my girls are really hard on toys, and this thing has been on our natural tile, it's been on carpet, it's been everywhere. Obviously taking a beating, holding two kids, doing whatever they want to do with it, and it's still held up amazingly. It is one of those things that's expensive at first, but I'm never going to buy another balance board because we'll always have this one. And then the next thing that I wanted to show you guys was a game. This is a game that is a hit with everybody, and it's the Yeti in My Spaghetti. This, I believe, I got from Crystal over on Crystal's Life. I can't remember if Crystal mentioned it on Instagram or YouTube, but she said her daughter Cambry loved it, and our daughters are around the same age, so I went ahead and I got it. I was going to get it out of the box, but this just gives you a basic feel of what the game is. It comes with a big red bowl, there's a whole bunch of pasta noodles, and then you put the Yeti on top and you slowly pull out the noodles from underneath of him, and then eventually he'll fall in. But this game is super simple but so much fun. Like, even though it is so simple, Sophie loves playing this game. She thinks it's hilarious for whatever reason. This is something that is definitely on the reasonable side, especially if you get it off of Amazon. I think it's like not even more than $8 right now, so I definitely recommend this game. Next up is this Melissa and Doug magnetic dress up game. Sophie is in love with it, and I couldn't tell you why, but maybe it's all the different options. So you slide out that top piece that I was showing you, and it actually has all the storage for everything underneath, which is amazing. It does come with stands for the dolls to sit upright, clothes, there's clothes for the cat and dog, there's accessories like hair bows and hats and stuff, sunglasses, then there's shoes and dresses, tops, skirts, just literally everything, because you can see they're a little undressed on the front here, but these dolls do come off. This is just like a magnetic holder for them when you're putting it away. But this is such a cute set. It allows them to be creative and like really kind of customize the little dolls that they're playing with, but at the same time it's not like a Barbie or a Polly Pocket where I have to help them with literally every single dress or every little tiny shoe. They're able to pretty much get things on there how they want them, and it's really awesome. Now, I know this has little girls on it and it might be a little bit more feminine, but they also do have an occupation one where I think both of the dolls are boys. So I'll link that one too. I mean, I think either of them are perfectly fine for either gender, but just in case, you know, because I've been thinking of getting the occupation one because of how much they've enjoyed this. It's like dressing up your dolls, but they're able to be very independent with it, which I always enjoy. I obviously don't mind helping them out, but when it comes to the Barbies, it's just like, can you put the tiara back on? Can you put the shoes on? Can you put the dress on? Well, now I want pants on, and it's just like, Ugh. But with that, they can manage that themselves. Next up is one of the repeat items, but Sophie mentioned it and I have to agree with her, and it is the Little Tykes trampoline. This is something that I feel like has not only been in previous favorite toy videos for whatever age, but also in favorite videos in general, and just things, different toy videos I've mentioned over the years. And I 110% stand by that because it has taken such a beating, more so than a lot of our other toys, because of how long we've had it, because now we also have 2 kids using it and not just 1, but it has stood the test of time and the girls still genuinely love it. It is something that we rotate in and out, honestly, because eventually at some point we start to be a little too naughty with the trampoline and it needs to take a break in the garage. So we do tend to rotate it out, but when it is out here and they're behaving with it, it is really awesome. It's, of course, a little trampoline. It allows them to get energy out, but they have the best time on it. And I'm actually going to link you to a better version of the one that we have, because the one we have is still available, but now they have this one where the bar actually folds so that when you do need to put it away, it can be a lot easier, which is amazing. It might be like $10 more, but trust me, you're gonna want it, because getting that thing through door frames with this rigid handle is a bit of a task. So I'll link you to the better version of ours, but it's still the same trampoline. Next up is this B Toys keyboard. This is something that I knew Sophie would like, but I thought it'd be short-lived. However, it has not been, and I think that's because of everything that this keyboard offers. If you play it, it sounds like a normal keyboard, you know, but it also does have different sound effects down here. It's got different kind of like background music right here. You can adjust the volume and the tempo as well. There's just a basic stop button. These ones sing like pre-recorded songs it has on it, but there's so much you can do with this, and she loves it. She loves making her own little soundtracks, and she loves messing with the tempo. Like sometimes these songs will start to sound demonic. She slows it down so much, but anyways, it's a really, really cute toy. But yeah, this was a relatively inexpensive gift. They also have a drum version, which my younger daughter loves, but Sophie really particularly loves this keyboard, and she utilizes a lot of the different features on it. And I just feel like even though it is kind of a simple kids toy, it does offer so much. It does keep her engaged. I will say I'm going to link this for Amazon. It is technically cheaper on Target. However, I have a lot of viewers in Canada, so for that reason, they don't have Target, and I'm going to link that to Amazon so they can easily find it. Next up is a puzzle that we got Sophie, but I just can't remember when. It might have been for her birthday, but it is this Melissa and Doug anatomy puzzle. Sophie started getting really into anatomy, I think thanks to a Bubble Guppies episode talking about lungs. She got super interested, so I thought this would be a super helpful way to kind of show her, because it is kind of hard to explain everything without having some kind of, you know, visual help as well. So the set does come with a little magnetic doll, like a lot of these sets do, from Melissa and Doug, and as you can see, he is the skeleton. It comes with all the different systems of the body. So you've got the muscles, you've got organs, you've got cardiovascular, you've got everything. And there's also just like naked female and male anatomy, and she's also been interested in boys versus girls and what the female body looks like versus a male body. So this has been a great teaching tool and just being able to help us, but she's also just genuinely played with this herself, and I just feel like it's a super tasteful way to handle a topic that might not be everybody's strong suit. Next up is the last repeat, but Sophie definitely wanted to mention her VTech camera. I know I've talked about this thing a ton, but this is something that she got years ago and she still loves it. She just learns how to operate more and more on this camera, honestly, to the point of like, I don't know what she's doing, but she does. You know, there's nothing bad on here. It's from VTech, but they have like different games, and they've got like an animator studio where they can like make little videos and stuff. It's really cool. It's really awesome. But she knows more about that stuff than I do. She uses it also for taking pictures, taking videos, simple stuff like that too. But she loves this thing. It really is a nice sturdy camera because this thing gets dropped all the time. This is the older version, and it's what I'm going to link you to because they're still selling it. This is $35. There's a newer version that I think is around $40, $45, and I think that has like a selfie camera on it, but they didn't have that, and we got her this. Honestly, if I had to pick between the two, I would probably just go with this one because I don't know, I feel like it does a ton of stuff already. I couldn't see her needing to do more with it, but she wanted to mention it, and it's something that I see both her and her sister playing with all the time, so it definitely does belong here. Another surprising favorite is this alphabet memory game from the Learning Journey. I was just trying to find something that had separate cards for lowercase and uppercase, and it was really hard. So many things are double-sided or just whatever, and there's multiple letters on each thing. That's not what I wanted. I wanted separate little cards, and this is what that is. It's an entire set. It's got all the letters, uppercase, lowercase, and you can flip these over and make it a memory game. Or, you know, a lot of the time my girls just match them up, you know, like it doesn't have to be a memory game if you don't want it to be. They could just line these out and then just match them to the corresponding letters. It doesn't need to be super difficult, but it can be if you want it to be, you know, just like one of those things. But even though Sophie knows her letters, she just gets a kick out of this. And this was the first thing she grabbed when I asked her to tell me what her favorite toys were. And it is. She's always playing with this. I feel like I see her playing a lot with her sister and trying to teach her her letters, which is really sweet. But it just goes to show that even if your kid does really understand something, it doesn't mean that they're past it. It means that they can just expand on it. The next to last thing is actually relatively new, but it is the Go Find It games. Now we have two. I only have this one. My youngest daughter has the other one, and they're playing with it in their bedroom right now with Dad. But this is something that they both got for Easter, and wow, has it been amazing. I knew it would be, but these girls love it, especially Sophie. And that is because it is these cards that are really well made. And basically they just give you different words. So you want to go find something stripy, go find something furry, like stuff like that. And Sophie doesn't know how to read yet, but she can read a lot of these different kind of like context clues, and she can pretty much figure out what they're asking for her to find. And she loves playing this. Even inside, we've had so much rain here in Ohio that honestly being outside isn't something we've been able to do a ton. So we've actually played this a lot inside, and it's been just as great. There is two different versions. I'll link you to both, but this is the one that I just happen to have right now. They are different, I will say that. So there's this green one, and then there's an orange one. I think it's called Go Find It 2. But either way, these are a super simple little game that you can take inside, outside. I mean, you could even have these in your car. I wanted to mention it because it is something that she is constantly playing with. Even if it's just by herself, she'll get those out and she'll find the cards that she can understand, and she'll go find stuff, which is really awesome. And the last thing that I wanted to show you guys is, again, a little too big, and it is this Little Partners easel. This is something that came out around Christmas time, and I was so excited because I have not had an easel for the longest time because I could not find one that I liked. And this one I finally did. It offers so much space on it that I just fell in love with it immediately. It is double-sided. There's a dry erase magnetic board on one side, and then there's the magnetic chalkboard on the other side. It also does come with a magnetic strip, so you can hang up paper and you can paint and do whatever you want that way. This thing has a ton of space on both sides. I just feel like it allows for kids of all different heights as well to engage with it and do whatever you might be doing at the time, whether it be dry erase markers, chalk, paint, whatever. But I just really fell in love with it. It is now only $90 on Amazon, and when they got it for Christmas it was more expensive, but this by far and away is definitely worth it. This thing is exceptional quality, so for like $90 I really feel like you're getting a steal. It's really awesome. I also feel like it just looks a little bit more modern than a typical easel. And I also did want to show you the Expo set my mom got to go with it, and this has just a whole bunch of dry erase goodies. So it does have some thinner markers, and then it also does have the eraser and the cleaning agent as well, the spray or whatever you want to call it, and then also some thicker markers. And this is just a really great set if you are going to use, you know, dry erase markers over there on that board. It's one of my girls' favorites. They love dry erase markers for whatever reason. But, you know, we make this work with both girls. Even if they're not on opposite sides, we just draw a line down the middle, and they're normally pretty good about it. So it's just something that by far and away I held out on for a long time, but this is the easel I would recommend. And that is everything for our favorite toys for 4-year-olds. Let me know down below if you have any suggestions for 5-year-olds, because like I said, Sophie is rapidly approaching that 5-year-old stage, and I would love to start, you know, looking into toys for that age group as well. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them, but I hope you guys enjoy the video, and as always, thanks for watching.